We'll go ahead and call this meeting for Monday, November the 10th, 2025 to order. At this time, I would call on Mr. Aaron Blanton with the family pastor at Hope Community Church for our invocation.
Thank you for the opportunity, guys. Let's bow our heads and pray. Father, we love you, and we just thank you so much for allowing us to gather together. And Father, we just pray that we just acknowledge you as our Heavenly Father. God, you're a gracious God, and we just want to pause before the start of this school board meeting to lift up our hearts to you in prayer and in thanksgiving for all the many mercies and blessings that you give us throughout our lives, God. And we just want to seek your face as we prepare to make plans for the future of our schools, for our children and our teachers. And Father, we pray that you'll give each one of us here today the wisdom to discuss the many important issues and the decisions that we make. God, help them to be decisions that would honor you. Give us wisdom and discernment. And God, we thank you that you've guided our lives, that you guard us, watch over us, protect us. And Father, we just pray that for Cleveland County Schools, God, that you would just bless the schools, bless all the teachers, all the folks that serve in all the different capacities throughout the school system, God. And I just pray, we know that our world puts so much pressure on our kids. It's just worse and worse every year. And God, we just pray that they would make wise choices, Father, that you would grant us all wisdom as we move forward in a way, God, that would honor your name, that would bring you glory. And Father, we lift up each staff member to you and to each child, as well as every member of the board here tonight. God, we ask that you continue to bless them, to bless their lives and their families. Father, that they would seek your wisdom and your guidance, that they would have courage and strength in all the issues that they face and decisions they have to make, Father, that you would touch their lives. Keep us humble, God, before your throne. Give us integrity to stand up for what we believe in and for what's right. And we pray, God, that all that we do would honor and glorify you. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blanton. At this time, I'll call on Major Ples Olenek to lead us in our pledge. He's from Shelby High School.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
All right. At this time, we have some special recognition. Major Sergeant Sergeant Major, Mr. Davis, is he here? He's not here?
Neither instructor was able to make it.
Excuse me?
Neither instructor was able to be present.
Okay, thank you. Are you guys ready for a presentation? Well, come on up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be presenting the Air Force Junior ROTC NC-942 mission briefing. An overview of what we'll be discussing tonight is our unit structure, our goals, our performance in both our physical and community service programs, our LDRs, and the achievements that our unit has acquired throughout the recent year. As you can see on the screen demonstrated, this is our basic unit structure. Omitted from this is the flights, as they will be discussed in the latest slide. Begins at the top with their group commander moving down to a deputy over our squadrons. Our squadrons are the heart of our operations as they conduct all our logistics, our events, our standards and evaluations, and our safety. At the bottom of the list, we have our first sergeant in charge of our cadets, the core of our program. Additionally, we have a new position, our Judge Advocate General, that works on corrective issues and corrective action within our unit to address any disciplinary issues that may arise within our legal boundaries. See, spread across 4 flights, we have a total of 58 cadets in our unit. Each flight corresponds to a different period of the school day, with spread across different years of development. Our aerospace science year means the amount of years a cadet has spent in the program. We have 34 cadets this year that is their first time in ROTC, 13 for their second, 6 for their third, and 5 fourth-year cadets. Also, what you'll notice is our Sierra flight is a program that branches both Crest and Shelby High School to create a more full program and to provide cadets from both schools the opportunity to grow. I'll now invite Cadet Major Annabelle Otten to the stage to discuss unit goals.
Good evening. I'm Cadet Major Annabelle Otten, the Deputy Group Commander here for NC 942. Some of our cadet impact goals are 85% of the cadets will achieve a grade of at least 85 overall throughout the year in JROTC. 80% of cadets will improve personal fitness assessment scores by the end of the school year, and at least 75% of the cadets will participate in at least 3 LDR teams, which will be discussed of what they are later on in the presentation. I would like to introduce our Operations Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Avery Irvin.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Cadet Avery Irvin. I'm the Operations Commander for NC 942. These are our school impact goals. 80% of the cadets will participate in 3 campus beautification events by May of 2026. Our Kitty Hawk Honor Society will collect 300 toys for the Toys for Tots from October to December of 2025. And the Cadet Corps will recruit at Shelby and Crest Middle and High School during the school year 25 and through 26. These efforts will add a total of 25 cadets to the unit roster by the start of the fall of 2026 semester. Our community impact goals are 85% of the cadets will participate in 2 Veterans Day events. 30% of cadets will receive the service room by earning 15 hours of community service by May of 2026. And number 3, the Cadet Corps will collect 400 non-perishable food items by May of 2026. We have a fitness test. We do it every beginning of a semester and usually every end of a semester. Our first PT was completed on 8/15/25, and our PFT test is made up of 3 components, which is push-ups, sit-ups, and 1-mile run. PFT mass generated in wings on 8/15/2025, and we plan to test again before the end of the semester. We had 0 gold stars earned, 2 silver stars earned, and 1 bronze star earned. The total number of completion rate of cadets tested 56 out of 98% completion rate. NC 942 action achieved 320 plus community service hours so far, and 14 plus events since April 11, 2025 to date. We did Adopt a Highways, DAV parking lot detail, Crest campus beautification detail, a blood drive event, provided cooking and serving detail for a pancake supper, and a food drive, which we donate to a local church food pantry. 540 items donated so far this semester. Kitty Hawk Honor Society is doing a Toy for Tots campaign goal of 300 toys. Their goal is 300 toys. And we also do flag detail and color guards. Here are some pictures of the DAV parking lot, color guards, and golden corrals and roadside cleanups and pancake suppers. Now I'd like to introduce Major Joseph Olnick.
Good evening. Over the past year, cadets have went to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. On this trip, they visited the Aviation Museum in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, and the Bodie Island lighthouses. Cadets also enjoyed Jockey Ridge National Park and sand dunes. 23 out of 42 cadets went, 54% of them. Recently, we have went to the YMCA Blue Ridge Assembly. Cadets experienced team building events to include high/low ropes, team leadership, sports events, hiking, marching, archery, and fun bonding events for 3 days. We have 2 upcoming CIA trips planned: the Sullenberger Aviation Museum for February 26th and the Air Force Thunderbirds Air Show, March 26th. Reintroducing Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Logan Frankenberger.
So one of the core parts of our programs are leadership development requirements. We have many of these teams. It's what gets our cadets more involved rather than just that one period a day. We have 5 STEM-based teams, 4 activity-based, and 3 unit-based teams. 57 out of our 58 total cadets have participated in at least one LDR, many of them doing more than one so far this year. It's 98% of the cadet corps. And now I'll introduce Major Auden again to.
The tier 1 of our STEM-based LDR requirements are JLab, which is an academics-based team, which we take a test for every semester. And if you score a certain percentage, you move on to the first few rounds. Our drones team, which we try to at least once a week. We have flight team that we also try to participate once a week, which is pretty much the same thing as drones. We build drones, we can fly them, and we also have flight simulators we do. Model building is once a week. We try to include that with the flight team and drones. Rocketry projects is all semester. In the spring, we have all the cadets build and launch rockets. Robotics spaces is also during the spring, where we teach our cadets robotics building and team working well as a team. And our Civil Air Patrol flights, which will be fired back up once the government shutdown ends. And I would like to reintroduce Cadet Avery Irvin.
A few of our LERs involves color guards, marksmanship teams, and where we have a gold, green, and gray team, and we practice at least 4 days a week. Our color guard, we do it at least once every other week, and then orienteering, we have once every month, and then a radio team is every 2 weeks, or every 2 days of the week. Now I'd like to introduce Cadet Major Hunter Hayden.
Hello, today I'll be going over our LE activities and a few other things. But first, let's go over our flag detail team. We raise and lower the flag each day. We have one team in the morning and one team at the end of the day. We fold our flags and store them each night. One cadet will say the pledge each morning, and it is strictly volunteer-based. Now, one of our LDR activities is our Tier 3 activity. We have the Kitty Hawk Honor Society / the Kitty Hawk Air Society. They make a pledge to join, must have a 3.5 GPA to join. They meet with veterans each month, and they show a good image of JROTC. These are our cadets across the campus. These show that our cadets do more than just ROTC. They do other activities outside of it, which includes our cheer, football, wrestling, and other teams like that. We have archery, which is the Shelby team only. And then we have other activities outside of school, HOSA, swim, AAU basketball, and others like that. On the side, you have photos including those things. Now we have more cadets across the campus. We have our organizations and clubs and our musical arts. We have the Future Farmers of America, our anime club, which has just recently been instated. We have our FCA, Civil Air Patrol, and YCI. We have a few cadets in each of those activities. Then we have our musical arts, which, as you know, do a few other things around the school, including Winter Guard, Color Guard, Orchestra, Band, Drama, and Theater. Now for unit achievements. We continue to get awarded each activity. We are continuous award winners. We earn things as our distinguished unit. We have earned 5 AFJRTC Distinguished Unit Awards. Last award in the AY 2019, and we have 1 highway adopted. As you see on the right, we have a few photos of our activities that we have done. Now to reintroduce Major Annabelle Auden, our Deputy Group Commander.
Some of our cadet accomplishments over this past year, we had 8 cadets participate and complete the CLC leadership course at Converse College in Spartanburg during the summer. This program is once a week every year, and our cadets can go spend a week to learn team building activities and become officers, such as the few of us here. More cadet accomplishments. Our top shooter last year placed 3rd at marksmanship state competition over last spring semester. And some of our things we do every semester is we try to have planned car washes to raise money, and our military balls, which is a planned event every semester to build morale and to get cadets from each flight to get to know each other a little bit better. And now I will reintroduce Cadet Logan Frankenberger, our group commander.
So to summarize our mission briefing here, we went over unit structure, our goals, our community service, our involvement in our community and our school. For that, we talked about the achievements we've made and how we plan to proceed in the future, and how our cadets are involved not just in ROTC, but how the effect it has on the rest of the community and their involvement elsewhere. Thank you for your time. This concludes our mission brief for the school year 2025-2026.
Thank you, guys and gals. You said you was Shelby Crest combined. Where are you from?
I'm from Shelby, sir.
Crest?
From Crest High School.
Crest? Shelby? Oh, okay. That's good. Anyone want to say anything? Mr. Sperling to Mr. Blunt.
So, being combined, do all the stats and all the activities include both high schools?
Yes, sir.
You do them together?
Yes, sir.
That's great.
I want to thank y'all and keep up the good work and keep recruiting and for more ROTCs, because y'all are the ones that's going to make our service and protect our country. And thank you.
Ms. Sherman? Turn your microphone on.
You did a great job. I know you didn't have your, the teacher, right, your sponsor. She had an emergency she had to go to, so I know I was thinking about how, that can throw things off. Couldn't even tell. If she hadn't told us, I wouldn't have known it, so you did a great job. Thank you.
Do you folks plan on participating in the Veterans program tomorrow? Yes, sir. What are you planning on doing? In the parade?
Tomorrow we have a parade, which will be led by color guard and as many cadets as sign up, should encompass most of our unit.
Good.
We're marching there, and then after that, we're heading to volunteer service at the Courthouse House. We'll be working with the Kitchen with the staff to help the community service go.
Very good. You did a great job. We're proud of you, and continue to keep up the good work.
Y'all look sharp. You just look sharp. That's just all I'll say. But anyway, thank y'all for coming. Have a
You
great
want
night.
to take
Oh,
pictures?
I'm sorry.
We got to meet you guys, but who's your cameraman?
I am Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Grayson McLaughlin. I'm just here tonight to take pictures.
Are you in school in one of our schools?
Yes, sir. I go to Shelby High.
Okay. Thank you for being here.
All right, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. If y'all want to come up, we'll let you take a picture right here and with us, and we'll get in behind you and.
Wait a minute, you get in the picture too,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
step back and
Yeah,
take
we'll
another.
get you one sent to you. All right, thank y'all.
Let him take a picture.
Yeah.
Back here.
All right, thank y'all. All right, thank you. Good job. Thank you, Patty. Good job. Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Fisher, would you like to introduce our next guest, our speaker?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. It's always great to have students here at the board meeting and especially representing such a fine program as our junior ROTCs. We also have a wonderful community partner here tonight. Just want to recognize the work that they are doing in our community and have Ms. Stevens come up and share a little bit about Feeding Kids Cleveland County and the extensive work that they're doing to support our community, but specifically their support of our students. And as you can see from some of the data, and I'm sure she will mention this, not only their support feeding our students and feeding kids in our community, but also they do literacy and book distribution, which, as you know, is near and dear to my heart. So, Heather, if you'll come up and introduce folks, if anybody's here with you, I know you got a couple of your folks here with you, you can introduce and just appreciate. Then afterwards, we'll get a picture of you and your team with our board. Okay?
Great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fisher. Thank you for having me and the rest of the people that were able to attend here from Feeding Kids. We've got a board member, and we've got a few team members, and then a few honorary team members that also happen to be my family. I'm Heather Stevens, and I guess you can hear me okay. And I am just so grateful to have the opportunity to speak to you tonight, share a little bit about what's going on in our community and what Feeding Kids is doing to respond to those needs, and also to invite you to come alongside us as we care for the students at Cleveland County Schools. So I'm just going to kind of run through some things, and then you also have some handouts that I gave you earlier that highlight a few stats and different things like that as well. But who is Feeding Kids? Feeding Kids is a 501c3 nonprofit. We began 10 years ago. We are actually celebrating a decade of difference this school year. And we are powered by volunteers. For most of our existence, there were no paid staff. It was all volunteers, including myself. And so everything we do could not be done without community support and community partnership. And so who do we serve? We serve the students of Cleveland County Schools. That's who our focus is, those students and their families. 1 out of 3 kids in Cleveland County are living with food insecurity. That may sound high, but it is not. Actually, since the government shut down and the end of those benefits, that number, I'm sure, is much higher than 1 out of 3 right now. So I appreciate that the school system actually did a post on social media reminding everyone that every child in Cleveland County Schools receives a free breakfast and lunch. They don't have to fill out a form. There's no, well, these kids get free and reduced lunch, these kids have to pay. There's none of that. It's available for every student without a stigma or differentiation of these kids are in one category, these kids are not in another. And that really goes a long way for students. I'm sure you all remember those days when you were a kid and anything that felt different was a really big deal. Even if it wasn't a big deal to anybody else, personally, those things always felt huge. So I'm just so thankful and so grateful that our school system continues to provide those free breakfasts and lunches for all the students, because there is a great need. And so some of you all may be familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is from a psychology class that you may have had at some point in your education. But basically that theory is it's a little pyramid, and at the bottom it's got basic needs: shelter, safety, food. And it's talking about how as you develop as a person and a community member, it's almost nearly impossible to go higher in those levels when you are stuck at the bottom, just trying to survive, not sure where your food is coming from, not sure if you live in a safe place. All of these factors go into these kids coming into school, and and sometimes we wonder, well, why are their scores so low at this school or that school or these students? They're fighting a battle that we don't always know about. And so we are trying to, as Feeding Kids Cleveland County, eliminate as many barriers as possible for these kids so that they don't just survive, but they thrive in this community. And so we do 4 main things as an organization. And I will try to go through those quickly. The first is our weekend food bags. You may be very familiar with that concept. It's often thought of as backpack food program. We call it weekend food bags because we don't do backpacks anymore for a lot of logistic reasons. I'm sure you can imagine what some of those are, but we, we're recycling. We are using those plastic bags more than one time, so we can feel good about that. So when you have groceries and you're getting the plastic bags, save them. We can use them because that's what we put our weekend food bags in, and then those can slip really easily into kids' backpacks if they don't feel like sharing with the world that they have a food bag for the weekend coming home. And right now, we are sending home 301 bags weekly. And I'm going to jump ahead a little bit in what I was going to share, but some of the questions, and a lot of organizations and people right now are very concerned, rightly concerned, about what's going on with our kids, especially when they're not in school. And so the response that Feeding Kids has to that is we are using our kind of the pathways that we already have with the school social workers and our way to get food easily to kids with the least amount of barriers as possible, and that is the weekend food bags. And so we have reached out to the school social workers and let them know, please don't limit your numbers. If you have students that need a bag of food every single day of school, not just on the weekends, to take home so they have something to eat for dinner, we will provide that. And so we work closely with the school social workers. Those school social workers are in the trenches, y'all. I'm sure you know this. But they are doing home visits. They are looking out for the kids that are, they have a lot of things kind of going against them. And those social workers are right there in the trenches with those kids, keeping an eye on them, making sure they're okay, that they're getting to school, that they have what they need. And so we are one of the organizations that the school social workers communicate with when those kids have needs. And so that is our response that's different from what we're already doing, is increasing the opportunity to get food to the homes of those kids. And then the next thing, the second thing that we do as an organization is we do school break home deliveries. And this is a little bit different. We actually have a few of our board members here that have joined us and participated in our food and book home deliveries. Ms. Sherman, Mr. Grigg, Mr. Bridges have all joined us, and I think our board member Elizabeth Schweppe is filling your inbox with requests to join us on that, and I am also putting that request out there. We would love for you to come with us. Board members, team members, I will go along with you. I will answer all your questions, or board members or whoever that you are connected with. We would love to have you. And people that have done deliveries will tell you that it is incredibly impactful to really see where some of these students that go to our Cleveland County schools, where they live and what their situations are. And it's very humbling, and it's also very eye-opening. And I think it also, hopefully, is also inspiring for us as community members that maybe have what we need or have enough to join in caring for our community members that don't. Because, we're all part of this community. It's not just the school board members or the people that are in positions that seem to make things happen and get things done, but even the child who doesn't have enough clothes or clean clothes or food in their homes. They are also part of this community just as much as each and every one of us. And they grow up to be community members, maybe staying here in Cleveland County. And so the way we interact and the way we care for these children will make a difference long term. And that is our goal. as an organization to make that difference in these kids' lives. And the next thing I want to go ahead and tell you a few numbers that are sort of maybe a little bit different than what's on your sheet. We have, and are actually for Thanksgiving deliveries, we will be delivering to 270 plus homes of Cleveland County students. And we serve all areas of Cleveland County. We are still a growing organization. It's taken us 10 years to get here, and we will continue to grow the next 10, 20, 30, however many years that we are in existence. And we started with elementary schools. We started with the two highest needs, the schools with the highest needs. The two of them were Graham and James Love. And that was back when we were doing kind of the percentages of how many were getting or qualifying for free and reduced lunches. And at that time, Graham was 98% of that student body, and James Love was 96%. And those are the people filling out the forms. So that gives you an indication it was probably closer to almost every child in those schools needed help with food. And so that was 10 years ago. When we started. So we started with those two schools. It was basically 20 families that we were delivering to. Now we are delivering to 270 for Thanksgiving break, and it includes every elementary school in the Cleveland County schools, every pre-K program, every middle school, and every intermediate school. And our goal in the next few years is to be able to add the 5 high schools. That is our growth pattern there. But we are able to serve some of those high school students because they have siblings in some of the lower grades. So we are doing our very best to get help to as many students as possible. And then our final, our third thing that that Feeding Kids does is we have an arm of Feeding Kids called Reading Kids Cleveland County. And that began in 2022. And it was started by Molly Brownlee, which some of you may be familiar. She wasn't able to be here tonight. She's visiting family out of town. But she had the idea, she'd been a volunteer with us for years, and had the idea of adding books to our deliveries. And so from that was born Reading Kids Cleveland County. And what that looks like is with our food deliveries, and I guess I skipped some of these details, in the food and book deliveries for the school breaks, we do that about 6 times a year. And that is before the longer break. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, spring break, and then once a month in the summer. And so we include fresh food items, we include shelf-stable items, and we also include a book for every child in the home. So when we are getting information on the families, they are telling us the ages of all the children in their homes. So it's from birth to 18 are getting books. They get to keep the books. They are their books. And then we often also include a family book as well that they get to keep. And you can kind of look at this later, but one of the things I wanted to point out on your little feedback forms, we actually have a lot more responses than what's on here. These are just a few selections. But we sent out a survey to the families that we serve as well as volunteers that have served with us. We had 56 families respond to us. And I don't know about you, but I rarely fill out a survey if I don't have to. And so to me, that number is very meaningful, that 56 of the families chose to take the time to fill out a survey. And so you can kind of see where in the one column it talks about the food and how that's helped them. And then in the second column, it talks about how the books have helped them. And these are examples, and it was very much similar responses over and over and over again, where some of the families are now reading together every night, and they weren't doing that before. The stats are 60% of homes do not have their own books, which sounds like a crazy number. Y'all, stats are very eye-opening. I think, we live in our bubbles. We interact with people in our circles often, and that's it, unless we make an effort to get outside of that and expose ourselves to what else is going on in our community. And so getting books into the homes where they belong to those children and those families that can build those libraries, and they can start to have a love of reading that maybe they didn't have before. And so please read through those. I can share more of them with you if you're interested at another time. And so Reading Kids also includes a book for every child, but we also have 7 little free libraries around Cleveland County. We partner with different organizations. Sometimes we have people reach out to us to establish one, and some we have just established on our own. And so they are all through, and they're available. We stock them. They're available for people to just go and grab a book. They can keep it or they can bring it back. It's really whatever they want to do with that. And then finally, the 4th thing that we do is we have a community table Thanksgiving meal. And we have been doing that since 2016. And that is actually happening also on November 22nd. November 22nd is going to be a very busy day for Feeding Kids Cleveland County. But that meal takes place in 6 locations around the county. And if you look on the back of your handout, the locations are listed here. And it's a free meal for anyone in the community to come and share a meal with their neighbors. And the hope is that when you look down the table, all you see are community members. You don't differentiate, well, that person's there because they need food, or this person's here because they're volunteering. It's a community meal for the community to come together for food and fellowship, and hopefully help to unify our community together. And even relationships may begin at that meal. Conversations may be had between people that maybe would have never talked otherwise. So that is the hope for the meal. And last year we served around 1,500 meals between those 6 locations. This year we've moved it to a Saturday. It was the day before Thanksgiving, so that number may greatly increase this year. So we'll have to let you know. And so, like I mentioned before, what we're doing right now to help with the increased need is doing those bags that can go home with the students. We don't want any child to feel like they're going to go home and just have nothing to eat. And so in closing, I really would like to extend an invitation to each and every one of you to please come join us on a delivery. I would love to have you on November 22nd if you don't have something going on. Or maybe it's something that can be moved around. It takes about an hour of your time, and most of us have that. So if you look at your form here, there's a QR code, and all you do is you open up your camera app, you aim it at that, and it'll take you to you click on the little website that pops up, and you can sign up to volunteer for deliveries. If you want to double up with another board member, that's great. However you want to do it, just let us know. We'd love to have you. And then we also are doing our Christmas break deliveries, home deliveries on December 21st. And so, and then if you want to learn more about the Thanksgiving meals and sign up to volunteer or do something with that QR code is there as well. So I would love for you all to come out and join us as we make every effort to care for kids in Cleveland County.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
if someone wants to contribute, would
Yes.
you guys rather have money or food or both? And second part of
Yeah.
that, where if somebody
Sure.
wanted to send you money or
Yes.
give you food, can
Yes.
you? Okay.
Well, both are wonderful. I will just be very straightforward and say that money is often more helpful because then we can purchase exactly what we need. And you can go to our website. We have a secure way to donate online at our website. If that is not something you like to do, you can also mail us a check, and the address is there, the mailing address for a check. If you would like to host a food drive, because we also love food drives and book drives, and so if you'd like to do that, we would also love that. And we can give you a list of food items that we would like if you want to put that out there. We've had people, it's actually been wonderful. The community has really rallied at this time. There have been so many people concerned and asking what they can do. We have quite a few food drives going on right now, which is wonderful. We've actually had a couple people just do it in their neighborhoods and ask their neighbors to get involved. So you don't have to make it some big, huge thing to make a difference. So we can send you what you need as far as a list of food items. We also have a list of books that we are looking for. The books that we need the most are baby books, like that, 0 to pre-K age, and then the high school books. And we have lists of books actually on Amazon and Walmart. Amazon is called a wish list, and you can just go on there if you're on Amazon and search for Feeding Kids. If you're on Walmart, you can search for the registry, and we have a list of books. You don't have to purchase from them. You can purchase from a local bookstore. Got Books actually is doing a drive for us right now as well. So you can donate food items there. We have donation drop-off locations that are also listed on our website around the community. If you just want to drop off some food items, you can also drop off at any of those locations at any time.
Okay. For all the ones that may be watching, this ends up on YouTube, and don't know how many people will reach, but am I correct in saying www.feedingkidscc.org?
Yes.
Again, feedingkidscc.org.
Feeding Kids, and then the CC is for Cleveland
Yeah.
County.
Okay, so if anyone's watching, again, I will say that again. www.feeding, FEEDINGKIDSCC.org.
Yes.
All right. Anybody else?
I got a question.
All right.
Do y'all partner with like local churches,
We
businesses?
do,
Okay.
yes, we do. We partner with, we have volunteer groups from local businesses, churches that come and volunteer with us, as well as people that, churches and businesses that encourage their employees or members to participate with us on deliveries. So yes, we do. We love to partner with organizations, churches, basically whoever wants to partner with us, we are happy to partner with them.
Anybody else?
I just want to
Oh,
say a quick
Ms.
word.
Sherman?
I just want to thank you. I know you do so many things, from the little libraries to the bags with food. And so I've personally been able to experience some of those and slip them in book bags back when we did that, and just see the difference you make. So your organization makes a huge difference, and thank you for what you do.
Anyone else? Ms. Stevens, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for the time.
We hope your program becomes more successful.
Thank you so much.
Before we move, oh, yeah, we got to get a picture. Before we move on, when Ms. Stevens was speaking, she brought something to my memory, and I want to read this. All board members, you got it from the superintendent, but our My Home Library project, which was submitted to North Carolina State Board Association, sent this to Dr. Fisher. Thank you for your submission to the Champion of Education NCSBA. We'll be honoring the top 3 entries as scored by the judges. I'm happy to share that your entry is one of the 3. So I just wanted to share that what we're doing has caught the attention of the state, and very proud of that. So with that being said, we'll move on to the adoption of the agenda. With no objections, we'll approve all the ones from October the 13th and October the 21st.
Adoption first.
Oh, got adoption of the agenda. Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Bridges and
The agenda.
Mr. Humphries Motion and second to adopt the agenda. All those in favor? It's 9-0. Now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. With no objections, we will approve the minutes from October 13th and October 21st all at once.
Make a motion to approve all the minutes at once.
Mr. Bridges' motion. Mr. Humphries' second. All those in favor? It's 9-0. All right, Finance and Personnel Committee report, Mr. Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The October 29th Finance and Personnel Committee meeting was called to order by committee member Kenneth Ledford. Rob McDaniel shared that there have been no changes in the state budget. No budget has been approved. Mr. McDaniel shared that we have received federal Title I funds. We are continuing to monitor federal funds, specifically how child nutrition reimbursements are impacted. Mr. McDaniel reminded the committee that the December pay date for employees will be December 31st. This has been communicated to employees. Dr. Stephen Fisher shared a state health plan update related to the new salary bands that premiums are based on. Employee enrollment goes through October 31st, 2025. Dr. Fisher also shared our district's bonus and supplemental plan for approval by the board. The committee was supportive of this plan. It will go to the full board for approval at their November meeting. Dr. Jennifer Wampler shared that HR has a beginning teacher support program monitoring visit today with NCDPI Dr. Valerie O'Kelly and is handling this visit, and we expect good results. Dr. Fisher and Ginger Jackson shared about an upcoming student Chromebook purchase. This was shared with the Educational and Policy Committee and will come to the full board for approval under that committee, but is being shared in this committee as an important financial expense. Ms. Jackson shared that the technology plan for student devices and the committee discussed this plan. The committee supported this purchase. With no new business, the meeting was adjourned, and the next Finance and Personnel Committee meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, January the 7th, 2025 at 11:45 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Next comes from committee, the 25-26 bonus and supplement plan. Does come from committee. Any questions on that?
Comment, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
This is one of the best things I think that's been done. At least it gives the board an opportunity to see exactly what's there and what's being done. So I think this is one of the best pieces that we've had submitted to us, and wholly uphold it.
Okay. Thank you. Any other? All right. With that being said, all in favor? That's 9-0. Next is the personnel report. We'll need a motion and a second for that.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Bridges makes a motion to approve the personnel report.
Second.
Second by Mr. Humphries. Any questions?
Got a lot of turnover in our lunchroom area, it looks like.
Look. Turn me.
Sorry. I say, it looks like we've got a lot of turnover in our lunchroom area, cafeteria. Yay, nay?
Yeah, I think that's kind of been a thing for a while.
Yeah.
And just, anyway, that's.
Well, we need make sure we need to be doing exit interviews on these people to find out why they're leaving and report that. That'd be a good thing to report in this personnel committee sometime.
Okay.
Maybe we can find out what's taking place, why we're getting this turnover.
Mr. Bridges, will you take that under consideration in the next committee meeting, please? Yes, sir. All right, thank you. Anything else? Yes, Mr. Bryant.
We're having some turnover at another school, by my understanding. I'll not call the school, it's quite a bit. But I think we need to think about putting someone out there as a recruiter to help in our personnel. We used to have that years ago, and it's been a long time probably, and we might have somebody, but I don't know that it's been mentioned. I'm talking about even if we have to go slam out of town, if we have to go, I don't want to go to New York, for sure.
They're coming here, don't worry.
But I think we need to hire, put one of our employees here in our central office out there running these lines to help us do some recruiting. because we're losing staff, not just nutrition. It's all the way across the board. And I guess that's all I got to say, but we need to really study this and making sure that we are hiring the best person for the job at all times.
Okay. Mr. Blanton, I just asked Mr. Bridges, he jotted that down as well.
Okay.
All right, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor? All those opposed? That is 8-1. All right, safety and operations, Mr. Sperling.
Thank you, sir. The October, excuse me, the October 27th Safety and Operations Committee meeting was called to order by Committee Chair Walter Sperling. Daniel Howell shared updated information related to the school safety plans and procedures. David Pless shared that there were no changes with the driver's education. Dr. Fisher shared that the Cleveland County Sheriff's Department, or Sheriff's Office, applied for and received the federal COPS, that's an acronym, COPS, grant for 2 additional officers. We will work with Captain Humphreys and his team to determine placement and use of these officers. There will be some district costs as the grant continues. Mr. Pless shared updated information on the athletic event safety procedure of a clear bag policy. In conversations with high school administrators, the recommendation is to start these procedures on January 1st, 2026. Appropriate signage, notification, and communication will be shared with the public as this occurs. Dr. Fisher shared that our internal safety team will begin their annual safety walkthroughs in November and will continue through the winter. There were no agency reports. Dr. Wampler and Chip Childers shared the capital projects report. This report will be shared with the full board as an information item in their November meeting. Dr. Wampler and Chip Childers shared bids received for re-roofing the Kings Mountain Intermediate School. This roof had damage from the recent hailstorm and has been submitted to insurance for coverage. They recommended accepting the lowest base bid for alternate 2, which includes installing OSB over the entire deck from Gutter Guys in the amount of $618,000, which includes contingency and gutter maintenance. The committee supported the recommendation, and it will go to the full board for approval at the November meeting. Dr. Wampler shared a request from Kings Mountain High School to name the basketball court in honor of Coach Larry Sipe, who was a longtime coach. The committee supported the recommendation, and it will go in front of the board for approval in November. Dr. Wampler shared a request from the Kings Mountain High School Athletic Department to declare their portable basketball goals surplus for sale. Their plan is to move from portable to suspended basketball goals. The committee supported this request that will go to the full board for approval in their November meeting. Jamie Courier shared a child nutrition update. They're feeding around 9,700 students a day. With no additional business, the meeting was adjourned. The next Safety and Operations Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, December 1st, 2025 at 11:45 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Sperling. Yes, sir, Mr. Blanton?
I'd like for you to repeat. I'm sorry, I missed that meeting, so I wasn't at that meeting. What about the driver's education? Did you read there? I didn't.
David Pless shared that there are no changes with driver's education.
Okay, and then on the bidding, I'm still a little bit concerned that we keep putting out our contingency. We can put that contingency fee we know, we vote, and we know what percentage we're gonna do. But putting that in with the bid, when a person bids a certain amount, they bid on that project, and we automatically, we put out, on that contingency, that mounted up to quite a big sum. You know, no matter when you're doing construction work, you can find something to add some more fees to it, add a little bit to it. But when a person puts a bid in, that should be their price on base, because we told them that we wanted the OSB on that part. Okay, they gave us the price on that. And then there we up and give that contingency added to that number of $45,000. I just can't understand. When I'm in the construction, when I give a person a bid, unless that person asks us for something else, if it goes more, I lose, personally. Not coming out of the taxpayer's pocket. And we're doing this every time. This board knows what we can approve, and the maintenance people does not have to come back to us. But us putting these numbers out there of what they know that we've approved that much. And most of the time, it runs into that. I think we need to address that issue. We're talking about the taxpayers' money, not mine and yours.
All right. I think last meeting, we were told that this was not shared with the bidders. This is something that's added internally.
In other words, they don't know.
They don't know.
We've seen this movie before, Mr. White.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. All right, let's move on to, there's 3 items that does come from committee. The Kings Mountain Intermittent Roofing bids. I'm assuming, Mr. Blanton, that's some of your concerns as well, you are expressed.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm fine with the bid.
Okay. The Kings Mountain High School gym floor naming request and the Kings Mountain High School basketball goal surplus request. That does come from committee. Any other questions, comments?
I have a question, but not necessarily on this.
Okay, what's your question?
Question, Mr. Spurling, how will this open bag inspection be done? Do the kids come in and they empty out their book bag and show everything that they've got,
No,
or?
no, that's the purpose of the open, where you can see through it.
clear bag.
The clear bag.
What is
So
that?
see through it.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's actually a clear bag?
Clear bag,
Okay,
yes, sir.
I understand.
All right.
And then there was one other thing. The grant that we received, or the Sheriff's Department received, is that for more than one officer or just one? 2?
It
Has that-
says,
Have those been identified yet?
yeah, Mr. Ledford, it says, we received a federal grant, or the sheriff's office received a federal grant for 2 additional officers.
Right.
And it'll be up to the sheriff's office, who's resource officer. And then they will.
I'm not
supply
worried
it.
about who it is. I'm just,
Okay.
do we know where they're going to go?
It
Or
does
has
say.
that been determined yet?
It also said in the minutes, we will work with Captain Humphreys and his team to determine placement and use of these officers. So we have not, we
But
will
we
in
would be the
future-
ones determining where they go,
We
correct?
will in the future work with Captain Humphreys and his team.
Yeah.
To determine the
Who?
placement.
But now, they don't know where to place them. I mean, they could place them anywhere.
So
That'll be
that's
up
right.
to the school system to say where they go. will
That's right.
will
It
not?
says we will work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It won't
to
be
determine
one
that.
decided, it won't be just us, and it won't be just them. It'll be a collaborative effort. And I think that's the best way to do it, since they're the security folks. All right, let's get back to this. Any others on the things I read, 3 things I read off? All right, all those in favor? Any opposed? That's 9-0. All right. Education programs and policy. Ms. Sherman.
Okay. The October 28th Educational Programs and Policy Committee meeting was called to order by Committee Chairman Ron Umphreys. Mr. Umphreys and Dr. Fisher reminded the committee that 3 policies with legal updates based on recent legislation are up for a third read and approval at their November meeting. Those policies are 3210, parental inspection and objection to instructional materials, 7820, personnel files, and 7100, recruitment and selection of personnel. Leah Sink talked with Kenneth Ledford regarding his concerns and questions prior to this meeting. As part of the normal review of policies, 7 policies in the 7,000 section, personnel, were reviewed. Those policies were 7230, discrimination and harassment prohibited by federal law, 7231, non-discrimination on the basis of disability, 7232, discrimination and harassment in the workplace, 7235, Title IX, non-discrimination on the basis of sex, 7236, Title IX, sexual harassment, prohibited conduct and reporting process, 7236R, Title IX, sexual harassment definitions, and 7237, Title IX, sexual harassment grievance process. No changes were recommended to these policies. Dr. Fisher shared 5 policy updates recommended by the North Carolina School Board Association related to recent changes in the law. The changes were reviewed by the committee for the following policies: 1740, 4010, student and parental grievance procedure, 1750, 7220, grievance procedure for employees, 2125, 7315, confidential information, 4050, children of military families, and 4270, 6145, concussion and head injury. The committee recommended the changes, and these policies will go to the full board for a first read at their November meeting. Dr. Brian Hunnell shared an EC contract for approval to fill a vacancy for an EC teacher at one of our Restart schools. The committee discussed the contract and supported it. The contract will go to the full board for approval in November. Dr. Hunnell shared a student Chromebook purchase from Technology for board approval. The quote is for 1,400 Chromebooks with Chrome management licensing, white glove services, and a 4-year warranty for incoming 9th graders. This quote was received through the National TIPS contract for pricing, which is open to anyone who would like to bid. The total cost is $418,600. Contract for pricing. The committee recommended approval of this purchase, which will go to the full board for approval in November. Dr. Fisher shared an update on school attendance and chronic absenteeism. With no additional new business, the meeting was adjourned. The next Educational and Policy Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025 at 11:30 a.m.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Sherman. I'll read off the policies for first read. 1740, 4010, student and parents grievance procedure. 1750, 7220, grievance procedure for employees. 2125, 7315, confidential information. 4050, children of military families. And 4270, 6145, concussion and head injury. All right, policies for approval are 3210. These do come from committee. 3210, parental inspection of the objection to instructional materials. Policy 3225, 4312, 7320, technology responsible use. Policy 7100, recruitment and selection. Policy 7820, personnel files. Any discussion on any of those? With none, all in favor? Oh, did someone have?
I was going to say, Mr. Humphreys, I don't see how in this world you can review 12 policies in 30 minutes with updates.
We do our homework.
Yeah.
Don't-
All right, all right. All right, any other questions? All right, all those in favor? Any opposed? That's 8-1. All right. The EC contract and the Chromebook does also come from committee, recommended for approval. Any questions on that?
What age group on those Chromebooks?
I would assume it's for everyone, is that correct?
Is that for your elementary and high schools and middle schools?
Ninth grade? Okay,
Just ninth grade?
That's what the quote is for,
Ninth.
1,400 Chromebooks for ninth graders.
yep. Ninth grade.
Ninth grade, okay.
All right, you good?
I'm good,
Okay.
as long as that.
Okay.
I've got a discussion when we get to elementary.
Okay. All right, all those in favor of the EC contract and the Chromebook quote? That's 9-0. All right, next is the 2026-27 calendar. I think we're all very familiar with all these options. We've had our small groups meetings and had plenty of discussion on these, so at this time, I'll just entertain a motion from someone on the calendar of their choosing.
Move to approve option A.
I have a motion for option A,
Second.
a second from option A. All right, any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say some stuff. I have been on the phone more times this week, and number of hours I can't even count since I've been elected to this position. I have gone back and forth. I have stressed. I have lost sleep. I have consulted with people. And so I'm just going to lay my heart on this issue for a moment. I first got elected to this board in 2022. I voted to break the calendar law to ensure the calendar moved forward as it was. Last year, year before, I didn't vote for it because it does break the calendar law. I didn't start this. The previous board, 3 or 4 years ago, aligned our calendar up with the college. We've seen the results of what happened, or what has happened, and the opportunities it provided our high schoolers to go to CCC and obtain their high school diploma, their associate's degree, and then a certificate if they didn't do the associate. So the benefits of this calendar in the past, we have seen the success from it. Our calendar A, everything follows the calendar law other than starting early. The calendar law was put into place in 2004. It's over a 20-year-old law. It was for the beach areas and the mountain areas. It was affected by tourism. It had nothing to do with Cleveland County schools. I am a total rule follower. I believe in the law. I have struggled with this decision tonight. And I want to say all this and letting the public know and the board know and the school district know that I didn't like being put in this position to break the law. I do understand what's at stake if this calendar doesn't pass tonight. I understand that, we bus numerous students from Cleveland County Schools to CCC in order to get this opportunity. And if this calendar, if we don't line with the community college, that's a loss of opportunity for our students. And I got elected to this school board to follow the law, but also to do what's best for the students of Cleveland County Schools and our teachers. There's 30 other districts in the state that have broken the law. I think some this year started school on the 6th, the 11th, and the 12th. For me tonight, I was dead set on not voting for this. I could not do it. But I also cannot take an opportunity away from our students, and we have seen the success that they have gotten. I've got numerous notes here, but, for me, it was when I went home tonight, was I going to go put my head on my pillow because I followed a law that doesn't make sense for our school district and take away opportunities for our students? Or was I going to go home tonight, put my head on the pillow knowing that the kids continue to do what they're doing right now and the impact it's making on this community and our school district. I was not going to vote for this calendar tonight. I just couldn't. And I'm willing to take the risk of what's going to happen for our kids and our teachers. It's just a great opportunity. I mean, who doesn't want their child to graduate high school with a high school diploma and also a associate's degree or a certificate? Also, the millions of dollars that our parents save every year by allowing this program to happen. So yes, it does break the law because if we're starting earlier, the rest of the calendar falls in line with that law. And if we were the only school district that was doing this, I'd absolutely say we cannot do this. But because there are other districts that are doing this and have done this, I cannot sit back and change the schedule at this point for our kids, knowing the domino effect that could take place by them not getting this opportunity. So tonight, I stand here to support this calendar. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Anyone else? Mr. Blanton?
Yes. Well, I have pushed that calendar from day one. What's best for our children. But I've also, I've had letter after letter and call after call, just like Mr. Bridges, about breaking the law. We can actually start school, have our testing done before Christmas and not break the law. And I know for a fact, this is not hearsay, this didn't come from nobody else but me. I know of 4 kids that graduated from Cleveland Community College with associate's degree and has not set one foot in that place. I have 4 grandkids that graduated with associate's degree, and they got enough to get their associate's degree and went on to college, and that was all paid for. Okay. Teachers used to come to us instead of us sending the kids to them. I also spoke to some people out at the community college. If we shift a little and they shift a little, everything it'll work out. I know some staff out there that says it's rough for them to get those kids caught up, but it'll work. Why don't we bring that staff back to the schools like it used to be years ago? I was here, right here in this seat, when those teachers used to come to here, and those kids is going to get the full teaching then because they're not spending 40 minutes riding from the school to check in over there and then riding from school and checking back to get to their next period. So there are a lot of options here and that we need to think about. And I counted from the 26-27 year is the 24th of August, the nearest Monday this time. And you back that up to the 11th or the 12th or whatever, you got a weekend or 2 in there. So you're really not losing that many days, as many days as we might think. If I can count from 24 back to 13 or whatever, that don't amount to 18 days. But, and we're following the law. Yes, that calendar is going to June the 4th instead of June the 1st. And it's starting the 24th, let me look at that calendar. But no matter what we do, we're wrong to a certain degree. Any decision one of us makes, if one goes one way, there's going to be some against us that way. If we go the other way, it's going to be some against us that way. It's not a win situation. But we need everybody in this county wearing the Senate out. Not these board members. Us board members cannot do anything about that law, except we can call. And you can bet, I done my share last week calling down there. But we need the people. The charter schools, within a mile and a half of two of our schools, they get to choose the calendar they want to. I don't have nothing against that charter schools, but if we've got to follow a rule, they should have to follow the same rule on this calendar when we're within a mile of each other. And that's the way it is. So I know I'm going around in circles, but I'm going to follow the law on this calendar. But I'm going to go with option B. We follow the law, but we still do the testing before Christmas. The kids it's going to affect, the kids that's graduating, get them, let's bring those numbers out here. The ones that's graduating, it's not going to affect them about a few days less because they're graduated and they're gone. They're going to get to go on to the community college with option B, straight on over there. The ones it's affecting is the ones that's going to still be here. They'll be in our schools that going to college that's not actually graduating, say like our juniors or seniors that's not finishing in December. They could be going on over there. And that money, those parents is going to still get that for free. And if they miss that week and a half on that early, they're going to be here as the second semester anyway. They're not going to miss it from Crest High School, Shelby High School, Burns High School, and Kings Mountain High School. They're not going to miss it. Or their middle schools, they're not going to miss it because they're going to be here till the end of the year anyway. The only one that's going to miss it is the one that's going over there to that college, and that's where I'm saying, let the college work, us go back to work, and the college and the schools work, actually both of us working together to work out something for those kids, because the elementary kids, it's not going to matter because they're going to be here till the end of the year. I guess I'll shut up. I'm going with option B.
Thank you, Mr. Blanton. Mr. Spurlin.
So I agree wholeheartedly that I wish the Senate would change this law. The system is broke if one man can hold up the whole law. But sitting here listening to Mr. Blanton, I will tell you, we had a saying in the Army, and it came up. It's kind of like the new guy saying, "In my experience." So I will tell you, I've been a high school teacher, Crest High School. I am a teacher at the college. I do teach the high school kids that are at the college. I get to talk to them and have talked to them about this calendar. And I will tell you, adopting Plan B, or Calendar B, which it has 20 days less teaching days, not counting the weekends, 20 less teaching days than the second semester. What does that mean? Well, yeah, they end the semester before Christmas, and they have basically 20 days less knowledge. They are not going to do as well on their testing as the second semester students will that have 20 extra days. So that's number one. Number two, yes, you can, some of the CCP classes can adapt to the differences in the calendars. The community college is governed just like they're trying, they want to govern the schools. The community college is told when they got to start a calendar and all that stuff. So they're not going to change, I'm telling you. But when you vote for one of these misaligned calendars, the college starts basically 2 weeks before the high school starts. So that means you cannot, like my class is what they call a stack class. I have college students and high school students in the same class, taking the same information comes out of both of them. You cannot have one of those classes if they're on two different schedules. You can't do it. At the end of the semester, with the unaligned calendars, the college ends basically 2 weeks before the high schools. So it's not just misaligned on the front side, it's misaligned on the back side too. So they get about 20 days less than the college students. So even in the adaptable classes, they're going to get less instruction because of those misaligned calendars. I've been on both sides of it. Like I said, I've been in the high school side of it, and I am on the college side of it. I have talked to parents. I have talked to teachers. I have talked to even the students. Listen, the high school students now don't even know what the old calendar was. We've been doing this early start calendar long enough that they don't even know what the other calendar was. And some of these students are in a 2-year program. They're juniors starting a 2-year program, and if we change this calendar, what are they going to do next year? If it's one of those classes that they can't go to, what are they going to do? They're just going to miss out. So I agree, Mr. Bridges, I agree wholeheartedly. Listen, I rarely lose sleep over anything. I've been through enough stressful, confrontational situations that stress usually does not bother me. But more than once, I've woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and played out every scenario. Listen, I was in the Army for 26 years. You want to talk about rule following? Believe me, I follow the rules, and I believe in the rules. But in this case, I believe in serving our students, our teachers, and our community way more than I believe in that one guy in the Senate holding up the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sperling. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Mr. Grigg.
Let me get my few words out here. You know, having a board of 9, that gives us all a lot of different opportunities to hear different reasons as why we should go with A, B, C, or D. But for my reason, it's because I stood down here and took an oath. I took an oath when I was sworn in. That oath was to follow the law and to follow the Constitution of the United States. Now, I swore that in front of everybody that when I took this seat, that's what I was going to do. Right here is the penalties for breaking this school calendar law. Now, somebody said to me, well, have they come after you for breaking the law? No. I can go out here and drive 50 miles through town, 50 miles an hour through town, and I might can get to the other side without getting caught. But does that mean that there wasn't a law? Does that mean that I can't get caught? Does it mean I can't get charged? No. It means that I was lucky this time. And the same thing with this. We're lucky.
that we hadn't been charged. We did get a letter telling us that we broke the law. I believe it was last year, year before last. But for me, I still have a little bit of integrity, and I'm not going to go with that. I can't go with A. There's just no way. That's breaking the law. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate every one of y'all. Y'all have your opinion. Your vote is your vote. My vote is my vote. And I can't vote for it.
Thank you, Mr. Gregg.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'd like to say something, Mr. Chairman. I sit on the board of directors the Board of Education. I sit on the board of trustees for the college. One thing that has been said already is the fact that we go with this law, we're going to break it. Or this calendar, we're going to break the law. If we don't go with the calendar, we're not going to break the law. One of the penalties is, I think, $10,000 per board member. The Board of Education picks that up. That's $90,000 coming out of the Board of Education that's not going to kids. Another is that they may withhold funds from our school system. Well, we don't know how much. Our legislature can't come up with a budget at the present time, so we don't know what and when it's going to happen. No, the schools, the state schools have not, State Board of Education has not levied out any kind of penalty so far. But are we guaranteed that they are not going to levy that this year? No, we're not. We don't know when and if it's going to happen. I have always tried to obey the law to the best of my ability. My grandpa would roll over in his grave if I said I can't obey the law. And I have got, like everyone else up here, we had to take that oath with my hand on the Bible, saying that I'm going to obey the North Carolina Constitution, the Constitution of the United States, and that I'm going to obey the laws, and that's what I have to do.
Thank you, Mr. Hold on. Mr. Ledford, I would like for you to cite where you're getting the $10,000 fine from, please.
I can't cite it because I don't have it in front of me.
It don't exist. We need to be up here. That is not law. That is where they tried to pass a law and it failed in the Senate. They wanted to fine the superintendent and the school boards. It came up in the Senate. Senate did not, or maybe passed it, but the House shot it down. So please, if we're going to state something, let's state facts.
Then I withdraw that, and I apologize for stating it.
Okay.
But it still says that we're going to be withheld funds if, yes, it does.
No, it does not. I'm not wanting to argue.
No
with it.
funds at all?
Cite that for me, please.
I-
Please, if you're going to come in here and start saying we're going to get fined this and that, bring the law with you.
All right, I will.
Thank you.
Okay. That's what, like on the general statute, 184, what is it,
Turn your mic on. Turn it.
Yeah, I've read that so many times, I ought to be able to recite the stupid thing. There is no mechanism, it's not self-correcting, there is no mechanism for punishment in it, and I'm getting ready to tell you why it's not. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Leandro, 1997. In 1997, Superior Court judge ruled that the state was out of compliance with the Constitution for education. One of the well, I'm getting ahead of myself here, it's been a long day. So the court ruled that the state has the constitutional obligation to actively safeguard and successfully deliver every child's Leandro right, which, I have a lot of stuff. I'm going to cut this down. Let's cut to the chase. The Leandro Plan orders the state to adopt necessary policies to allow school calendar flexibility to ensure that local schools can align with community college and university schedules by the end of 2022. Unfortunately, the General Assembly has failed to comply with this active court order. Speaking of people that's taken oaths of office, wow, okay. Now, let's go back to 2002 when Mark Basnott introduced this bill. Leandro preceded this bill. Holy cow, Mark Basnott flouted the Superior Court judge and like, yeah, you said that, but watch me, I'll pass a law. It was an illegal law when it started. Okay, now, in the meantime, over the years, this came back up around COVID time. November the 10th, 2021, the Superior Court orders the state to fully implement the Leandro Plan, including $1.7 billion to fund years 1 and 2. This order includes the language requiring the state to grant districts calendar flexibility. Okay. Now, November the 30th, 2021. The Court of Appeals issues an order halting the transfer of $1.7 billion. This is how misdirection works. Pending new calculations of what the state owes following the passage of the new budget, this order only halted the transfer of the money. It only halted the transfer of the money. Other non-monetary aspects of the Superior Court's November the 10th order remain in effect. The calendar portion, the calendar flexibility portion of it remains in effect. The order still stands. April the 22nd, 2022. The Superior Court calculates that the state still owes $785 million, but the transfer of fund remains on hold pending the Supreme Court hearing. November the 4th, 2022. The Supreme Court orders the full funding and implementation of the Leandro Plan. They affirmatively reinstate the language in the November 11, 2021 Superior Court order and repeal the language of the November 30, 2021. However, the transfer of money remains on hold because the budget had not passed. The non-monetary things stay in effect. March the 3rd, 2023, the Supreme Court, with a different partisan makeup, following the November 2022 elections, reinstates the Court of Appeals November the 30th, 2021 writ of prohibition, which is halting the transfer of the money. This action, I got ahead of myself, sorry. This action halts the transfer of the funds until the new Supreme Court can rehear the recently settled case. Again, reinstated, 2021 order does not absolve the General Assembly of implementing non-monetary policies, such as granting schools calendar flexibility. Now, my good friend, my old friend, it's a political smackdown that, God, I've had great discussions with him over the years. I won't say who it is, but there's only 4 to choose from. Not that many, it's older than me. But we'll always come back to only a judge can decide this. Well, here we go. November 11, 2021 order reinstated the November 4, 2022 Supreme Court ruling states any and all other state actors and their officers, agents, servants, and employees are authorized and directed to do what is necessary to fully effectuate years 2 and 3 of the comprehensive remedial plan, which, by the way, includes calendar flexibility. Let me read this one more time, because here, we're actors. We're all actors. Some different than others, but we're all actors. So it says, the court ruling, the Supreme Court of the state of North Carolina, which, by the way, supersedes any legislative law, it's the top of the food chain, says any and all other state actors and their officers, that's us, agents, servants, and employees are authorized and directed to do what is necessary to fully effectuate years 2 and 3 of the comprehensive remedial plan. That's an order from the Supreme Court of North Carolina to align our calendars with the community colleges. They knew it in 1997. Now, what they've managed to do is, and honestly, you have to dig for this stuff. Somebody told me one time that I'm like an old dog looking for a bone in the backyard. I'll dig the whole dabbling backyard up to find the bone. I've dug up almost the whole backyard, but I finally found the bone. It's hard as blazes to find, and Leah and I discussed this earlier, to find all the language in these rulings. You have to dig for it. It's a lot of reading. But what our good senator wants to do is focus all on the money. That's easy. $7.1 billion. We can't do that. The court said we don't have to do the money. Never mentioned about the calendar flexibility. Never mentioned the other things. There's a lot of things in this ruling. It's the law. Now, we're going to, sorry. Are we going to follow the law or not? The law of the land is what the Supreme Court says the law of the land is, not Phil Berger. Now, okay, here we go. It's been a long day, y'all. It's emotional Ron coming out here. I'll try to keep him under wraps. If you or I, anybody in this room, if one of the Superior Court judges right over here gave us an order and we flouted it in his face and went, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to get on TV and everything else, and I'm just going to ignore yours. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make something else up as I go to really throw it in your face. We'd be in a 6x8 cell over there. There's no question about it. Why Phil Berger hasn't got drug out of the General Assembly in chains for impeding a lawful order of the Supreme Court of North Carolina is beyond me. This just blows my dadgum mind that this has gone on all these years. And that's why there's no penalties attached to it. You can't charge somebody for obeying the law or disobeying the law that wasn't lawful to begin with. Come on. You know, I mean, this has got beat to death forever. So, one other thing. So it's been a stressful day for personal reasons, but for whatever reason, I start getting philosophical when I get under stress. Ms. Stevens brought up Maslow's hierarchy of needs earlier, speaking my language. You also mentioned that 1 out of 3 in our county have food insecurities. For whatever reason, I was listening to that. There's a book out there called Damon Copperhead. I don't know if anybody's ever read it. You're familiar with it. Okay. There's a dichotomous term in there, no hill for a climber. It's the thread of the book. No hill for a climber at the beginning of the book is said in Appalachia. I almost said Appalachia. That's a sin to say Appalachia. It's Appalachia. This is similar, and you will probably agree, this is similar, that tells a story that we're familiar with in this area. The kid wants to do things. He's a climber, but there's no hill for him to climb. There's no opportunities. And I'm waxing very philosophical here, but I mean, if you wanted to be a carpenter and there's no way for you to learn to be a carpenter, there's no opportunities to do that. But as opportunities come to him, by the end of the book, no hill for a climber is referring to, if you're a real climber, there's nothing you can't surpass. You can climb any mountain. You can, no matter how precipitous the slope is, you can do it. I want to be the board member that helps these kids, that gives the kids a hill to climb. I want kids graduating our schools thinking there's nothing I can't do. That's what makes a better society. That's how we grow people. That's how we grow our economy. And I'm done, sorry.
Thank you, Mr.
Didn't mean to preach.
I don't want to go back around. Have you got a question?
I got one.
Okay.
Could we have our lawyer to come up and tell if we're breaking the law of that statute that we've all been fighting about up here the whole time? Give us just a yes or no answer.
I think we all know the answer to that. I'm not going to call her to do that.
Well, I want to hear it from our attorney because she's the one that's supposed to be directing us.
No, we're going to move on, okay? I'm not going to, we all know. And
Oh, well, you tell it then.
I think everybody said it right here.
So it is breaking the statute.
I think
All right, does that override the statute?
Let me just say this, I think
Absolutely.
if you want to ask her, does the Supreme Court overrule, I'll bring her up and let her do that, but I'm not going to let her up here saying whether or not break law. Do you want to know whether or not Supreme Court overrides the
Well,
General
that
Assembly?
statute that we've been arguing about for 2 months or 2 years.
Mr. Sink, I think the question is,
She can't give
Yes or no?
She can't give legal advice
you do what you think's legal.
unless we go to closed session.
Chairman Shores, I believe my job is to protect the board in the best way possible and to give legal advice on this complex matter in open session would not be protecting the board.
Okay, thank you.
If we need to address in closed session, we can do that. I mean, I think proceeding with the vote is also permissible.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Blanton. All right. Yeah. I'm not going back around.
Oh,
All right,
I'm
this is
called-
it.
I'm
This is
called
this is it.
question.
This is it. I'm gonna say what I gotta say,
Oh, yes,
then we're
sir.
gonna vote, okay? I mean, I've sat here and didn't bother anybody while they spoke. And so I'm gonna say what I gotta say, then we'll vote. All right. I've heard from the parents, from the staff, from the teachers, loud and clear, through your phone calls, your texts, your survey responses. An overwhelmingly 96% of you want a semester that ends before Christmas break. There's only one realistic way to make that happen, and that's option A. Let me explain why option B would be an extreme challenge for our schools, our teachers, and most importantly, our students. Teachers would have to completely rewrite pacing guides and lesson plans. Students wouldn't have equal days in each semester, forcing AP and EOC courses into the spring. Packing those courses into the spring would increase class sizes. Transportation options would decline. Enrollment in our CTE programs would drop. Would have an increase, listen to this, we would have an increase in IEP meetings to fix the service gaps times. Teachers' morale would take a huge hit. The first semester would have 18 fewer days than the second. Option A, first semester's 86 days, second semester's 92. Option B, first semester's 80 days, second semester's 98 days. How in the world is that fair? How is that fair? There's been plenty of talk about the start date, but not nearly enough discussion about the part of the same law which clearly states this. Local boards of education shall consult with parents and the employed public school personnel in the development of the school calendar. It tells us we have to do it. We've done exactly that. 96% of the parents want a calendar where the first semester ends before Christmas. And I can tell you almost every single teacher feels that same way. In my opinion, if we don't follow what the parents and staff want, we're breaking the law. If we pass any calendar other than option A, then in the fall of 2026, when Cleveland Community College opens its doors, our high school students will not be bused on that day from our high schools to walk into that college. They will not be attending their HVAC, heating and air conditioning class on day one. They will not be attending their automation, engineering, technology, or collision repair on day one. They will not be learning cosmetology, electrical systems technology, information technology, pharmacy technology, or firefighting on day one. Those incredible opportunities, the very programs that prepare our students for real careers and real success, will be out of reach. These are jobs AI can't replace. That's what's at stake, and that's why option A isn't just a preference, it's a promise to our students and their futures. As one principal told me, if the board chooses option B, they cannot hold us responsible for EOC or EOG grades, as it's not fair and accurate measure of such a large difference in actual instructional days, which option B is 80 days to 98 days. We made tremendous progress with moving 7 of 9 schools out of low-performing status. If the board passes option B, do not blame the superintendent or principals for poor academic performance. We got to blame ourselves. What other option is there? Option C. Option C received 2% of the vote in our survey. It's balanced. First semester does go into January, and second semester goes more into the summer. It will prevent those who graduate early that want to enroll in college in January from doing so. It will also make alignment for CCP classes very difficult, if not impossible, for both semesters. The clear choice, option A, respects our family, supports our teachers, and sets our students up for success. Right now, one man in Raleigh, one man, is blocking a law that would give local boards of education the right to set their own school calendars. Just think about that for a moment. One person is standing between our communities and what's best for our students. The House of Representatives has passed this bill time and time again to allow local boards to create a calendar that works for them. I've been told if it ever made to the Senate floor, it would pass there too. But it never gets there because one man refuses to let it move forward. Now let's take a look back. The last time one person had that much control, it cost our children dearly. During COVID, the governor shut down our schools with an executive order. Looking back now, we can all see it. That was one of the worst decisions ever made for the education of our students. Their learning loss was devastating. It has taken years and years to help students catch up, and still many haven't. That same governor also signed orders that forced everyone to wear a mask, that said we couldn't go to church, but sure, we can go to Walmart and shop. It was the law. Did everyone wear a mask? Did everyone stop going to church? Will every board member here tonight say, I will not wear a mask or stop going to church, God forbid, if another COVID situation arises? One man can make that law. One person should never have that kind of power over our schools, our children, and our communities. Here in Cleveland County, we've built something special that's working. We've partnered with Cleveland Community College to give our high school students the chance to earn college credits, get certificates, and even graduate with an associate's degree, all before they walk across the high school stage. This program has saved local parents millions of dollars over the past 3 years, and the results speak for themselves. Enrollment is growing, success is climbing, and opportunities expanding. So why on earth would anyone want to stop that? Why would we let one man in Raleigh hold up what's right for Cleveland County? My priority is right here in Cleveland County. My priority is the education of our children and saving money for the hard-working parents. This is about local control. This is about common sense, and this is about doing what's right for our kids, not what's convenient for politicians or special interests. It's time we stand up and say enough's enough. It's time to return the power to the people, to our local boards, to our parents, and to our communities. Because folks in Raleigh don't know children like we do. They don't know our teachers like we do. And they sure don't know what Cleveland County needs better than the people who live right here in it. Let's do what's right. Let's put education first. Let's stand together and take back control of our schools, our future, and our children's opportunities. One other thing I'd like to mention is the North Carolina Public Instruction has taken over the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. This is a state institution. They say it's okay for students who play sports to return on August 1st. Band members can come back to school on August 1st. There's about 34% of students that play fall sports. If we go with any other option other than A, we'll be having football games before school starts. Also, charter schools are public schools, but they're not required to follow the August 26th start date. There are between 35 and 40 other school districts who are starting school prior to Monday closest to August 26th. These districts have decided they're going to fight for what is right in their districts. I'm going to fight for what's right here in Cleveland County and do what people want. I hope all of you would join me in this fight and vote for option A, because if the legislators can't stand up to one man, I will. Stand with me in this fight. At this time, we've had a motion and a second. All those in favor of option A, raise your hand. All those opposed? Passes 5-4. Thank you.
Did we not say in our last meeting that, Mr. Chair, that we was gonna hold this off till December anyway?
I think there were some talks in some of the small groups that we were maybe going to hold it off, but I'll just tell you, the high school principals needed it yesterday, to be honest with you. They've got to get to moving forward because they don't know which one. As I said, and I went through that list, this was going to cause.
Why don't we move the teachers back to our high schools, Mr. Chair? This board don't need to be a fight.
No, I'm not fighting with anybody. Let me just say this, and we're going to end this. When it all said and done, Mr. Blanton, everything comes about money. So let me just leave it at that. Everything is about money. I don't want to fight with none of it. I think we all want to do what's right for kids. I'm just tired of dealing with Raleigh, and I'll just leave it at that. All right, let me find my.
Deal with Raleigh, as long as Raleigh passes laws that we have to do.
Okay, let me find my agenda. I have lost it here amongst all my papers. All right, here we go. Superintendent update, Mr. Fisher, Dr. Fisher, sorry.
Chairman, we got this strategic plan, 8.02.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold right there, Dr. Fisher. All right, I missed that. Okay, all right, yep. We do have a strategic plan that's been in our emails. I hope everyone's, it's been there over and over and over again. Do I have a motion to adopt the strategic plan for 2026, 2030?
Motion.
Mr. Spurling and Mr. Bridges. All those in favor? All right, all those opposed? I'm assuming, did you vote yes? Okay. 8-0. If you just want to know, he's had a situation he needed to leave. His wife is, let me just go ahead and say it. Mr. Humphrey's wife was in an automobile accident this morning, very serious accident. So he's got a phone call. He needed to get that call. Dr. Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Just real quickly, do have some superintendent updates for you today. Obviously, tomorrow, school was closed for students and staff. Tomorrow's Veterans Day, so we had a little snow flakes early, so no worry having to worry about what's happening with school or that type of thing tomorrow. So tomorrow is a holiday for students and staff for Veterans Day. A couple things looking down the for next week, the Heroes and Agape Banquet is Tuesday, November 18th. We encourage you to attend. It's always a great night to recognize some of our students and staff members. The Thanksgiving holidays there are quickly approaching. It's hard to believe today is November 10th. It seems like just yesterday that we started school. We're talking in August and September, and we're into November and thinking about the holiday season. You do have board committee meetings. You see that schedule on the Monday, the 2nd and the 3rd. Just as a reminder, I know we've read that out, but there is no Finance and Personnel Committee meeting there in December. On Wednesday, the 3rd, is Math Day. Encourage you to come to Math Day. That reward ceremony will be about 12:45. If you want to come and see students doing that, you can come earlier today, but that'll be here on our campus on Monday, December 3rd at 12:45. On that Friday, Title I Parent Advisory Committee at 10 o'clock. Lots of parents come in. Dr. Parker and his team do a really good job with that. That gets to the board meeting in December, and then we're here at high school exam week and Christmas break. So you've got those dates. I just want to provide just a few reminders for you, especially coming up next week with the Heroes and Agape Banquet on your schedule. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Dr. Fisher. I don't have any, so we don't have no public participation. Okay, board member comment, Mr. Biden.
The board member comment?
Yeah, board member comments.
All right.
You're
Okay, I've
first.
done a little homework on our growth here in the city of Shelby. There are 13 buildings with 312 units. And that is commercial. In other words, that's classified as, and they're single family. In the month of January, February, and March, there was $2,784,000 in January, $1,779,750. March, $1,759,129. This is houses that's completed in the city limits of Shelby. It took me about 5-10 minutes to get this. I even got the people that built them, what they paid to build them, and the whole 9 yards. There quite a few houses been built. I'm getting the counties. I'm gonna get Kings Mountain. I'm gonna get Bowling Springs. But we need to really think. We don't have the money to build a new building. We've got a building that if we had to use, that we need to use. But I'm not taking it away from the group. If any group was gonna get it, I just assume that group is anybody. But we need to make sure that we're not gonna need room to put some children. All of this here that I've got here in my hand, I guarantee there's some babies in there and some children, without a shadow of a doubt. So, I guess everybody have a good meeting. And I'm gonna do some more homework and research, but we need to think twice about, I have not heard another word about the outcome on our building. Nothing has been brought, but I don't think they got 180 days before anything is said to us. I believe that was right. But I think we need to make sure that we've done our homework, that we're not gonna need this building. Now, I do know that there was a lot of people lived in that area. They moved their children out to the other school and moved them over. I know that. Maybe we need, I hate to put guidelines on and not allow somebody to let their child go where they want to go. But we also got to pay attention of how we're using the taxpayers' money. Well, it's our money too, but I'm a taxpayer. And that we're utilizing our space the way we need to utilize it. And I know there'll have to be work done on the building, and everything like that. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Mr. Spurlock.
So, first of all, feeding kids, I appreciate her, she had to walk out, but I do appreciate her presentation, and what a great way, show faith through works. Very, very good. I'd like to say our Crest JROTC, love that them and Shelby joined forces, and we have a booming JROTC program. I am a huge fan of that and CTE, as most people know. My family is military family. I had 2 sons that went through JROTC, although it was Army JROTC. So I am a huge fan of that. It creates good, productive citizens. Definitely want to say happy birthday. 250th birthday for the Marines today. I am not a Marine, but happy birthday. And I would like to say thank you to all the vets. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. We have a community here that has a lot of vets in it. Tell a vet, thank you. That's it.
All right. Ms. Sherman.
I have a few words I'd like to say about my decision and my vote on the calendar. I just have a few notes here. I used to say I have a couple notes and I put them on a sticky note, a sticky note, a sticky note, so at least I have my big paper here. So I wanted you to know why I did vote against calendar A. And I can tell you, as everyone has said, this was a very, very, very hard decision. Not clear and cut. So I had some sleepless nights as well, Mr. Sperling, but my decision to vote against calendar A is based on integrity, respect, and advocacy, as well as my career that I had in Cleveland County Schools. That played a huge role in my decision. My integrity is very important to me, and as a foundation, I used to make decisions. Throughout my career, I've always done what's very best to lead and for our children with integrity. As a principal, I expected students and staff and parents to follow rules and guidelines and laws that were in place that sometimes we questioned. But it was a way to run our school in an orderly and effective manner and to provide the best instruction for our students. I have also based my decisions on what I've best for students within the constraints of safety and law guidelines. I want to tell Dr. Fisher and all the board members, I truly appreciate the conversations and open dialogue that we've had because that helps when you have very difficult decisions to make. But it gave each one of us the time to say and to ask questions and then make the best decision that we could be comfortable with for the 2025-26 calendar. So following the current calendar for the past few years has provided, and no one can argue with that, the data, the statistics, the success that the students have had. It has provided educational benefits for many of our students and students that are now in college. I have respect for the decision each board member made tonight, and just want you to know that. For me personally, my decision does reflect integrity, respect for the process, and a request for advocacy through the proper channels. So I ask, as we've said, if anyone would like to contact our legislatures, help us so that we can get this resolved before next time when we need to vote on the calendar. It would be appreciated, and create changes to the North Carolina calendar law that will continue to benefit our students. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Sherman. Anyone else?
I'd like to say something, if it'd be all right, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
First of all, I want to congratulate all the veterans. Being one myself, I want to say welcome home, brothers and sisters. Whether you received a good welcome or not, you're certainly welcome now. There are activities, as Mr. Spurling said, going on throughout the county, so I hope veterans will attend those. Going to be a cold day tomorrow, but the parade will start, I think, at 10 a.m., and then there's other activities going on as well. I do not regret as far as what I've said about the calendar law. I have based my decision purely on my own. I remember whenever the calendar law first came out. As a matter of fact, it was my very last year on the Board of Education. I didn't have to put up with the calendar during that particular time. We didn't have to worry about it. But the law is the law. The way to get it changed is for people to contact our representative, our senator, and have him to work as far as getting this thing passed. I don't know how he voted as far as on the calendar, but we need to stress everything that we can to get these people to change the law. And then it's not where we're violating any law. I know there's penalties on this, and I'm going to find out exactly what they are, and I assure you that I will be bringing this back. But I do want to thank the lady that was here from Feeding the Kids. It's a very important thing, especially now during the time that we've got as far as with the government saying shutting down and not being able or not providing funds for our kids. We're in a dilemma. Not having any kind of funds from the state makes us in a dilemma. So we've got to find all possible ways that we can in order to make sure that these kids get nutritional food. Appreciate everybody coming. I want to thank all the teachers for what they're doing, getting ready now for close down for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. Going to be a big time for these kids. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Leopard. Anyone else?
I want to say thank you to the special guests that came tonight. Feeding Kids, Heather's program is really a great program. I've had the honor of going out and helping deliver, and I've also contributed about 100 books to the book cabinet so far. I think it's a great thing. You know, Cleveland County's got a lot of good organizations here in Cleveland County, but you have to get out of your box and kind of start looking around before you'll see them. If you get an opportunity and you can go out and help deliver food with her organization, I suggest that you do it. It is an eye-opener when you get out there because you have no idea what some of these families are going through and the conditions that they're living in. And I can only imagine what the kids are going through. And I just appreciate people like her for doing that. And I do want to say thanks to all the veterans. My dad fought in Korea in the 40s. My nephew fought in both Desert Storms. And, you know, we need to be thanking all of our veterans tomorrow. And all the time, really. But that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grigg. You know, having a, all right. I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Yep. Enter into closed session pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11, subsection A1 and A3, into closed session to discuss confidential student concerns and to consult with the board attorney.
Motion by Mr. Bridges. Did I hear a second from Mr. Blanton? All in favor? All right.